Hey, if you've written even one line of code in your entire life, here's how you can make $1,500 within 2 hours. And I will explain exactly how I did this in this video. This is a process faster than Kendrick Lamar responding to Drake, so I won't hold you for long. This is a 5-step framework that we'll be going over that made me the $1,500 in 2 hours. All you have to do is follow it exactly the way it is, and you will be able to do the exact same. So step 1 is the content. You must post a short piece of content on YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, or TikTok. Now, the content that I posted was on YouTube Shorts, and you can probably see on my channel right now if you wanted to try. Now, what were the metrics of this piece of content that I posted? It got 1,500 views. It was a very niche video because the video was for how I created a shift scheduling bot. So basically, it was a tool that was able to book shifts for hotel workers because they work at hotels, what you call a shift. So this tool just booked it for them. It gave them time back in their day. They don't have to worry about booking a shift, and it just saved them time. It was, again, a very niche video, and it was very direct. It was straight to the point, 30 seconds. I just told them exactly what my product did, and if they're interested, to email me. This is what I want you all to do. Follow this exact same steps, okay? Just pick a platform, post your piece of content, and in the content, just tell them, hey, email me if you're interested. And this is where you unlock step 2. So the one thing you want to really make sure is to include your email in the description of all of your content, because the more views your video gets, the more people will email you requesting for something similar. And if you don't have an email description and they want the service you're advertising, they're going to have no way to connect with you, and you're just going to potentially lose out on a multi 4-figure, 5-figure lead. This is what happened with me. After the 1,500 views, I got an email from a person asking for a script to guide them through a website purchase process. And simply they asked me if they could hire me to create a script for them. They said that they have items that come for sale that sell within 1 to 2 seconds. The one thing to notice is this isn't asking me for a bot for hotel shifts, right? It's asking for something very similar, but not for the same industry. And that's perfectly fine. That's the beauty of posting content online, is while someone might not be interested in the exact service you are selling, if they are interested in something very similar, then they'll still ask you, because you just proved to them that you have the skills to create a shift scheduling bot. So you must have the skills to also create a script that can buy an item on a different website. So my reply was that, sure, which website is it? And then they responded, because you want to get the scope of the thing that they're creating, because you want to make sure that you know exactly what you're getting into, because if they're asking you to do something crazy, you might have to pass on the project. But the person talked about the items, how to do it as well. You enter a serial number, click a tick box, then a blue box says buy or something like that, and you have to click it. So again, very straightforward. He explained the process, and after this, I got his number and we hopped on a call just to iron out everything that's going to go on, as well as talk about payment. And then I got to step 3, coding less than 100 lines of code, guys. Yes, less than 100 lines of code. Can you possibly believe that? You got paid $1,500 to code less than 100 lines of code. Beginner tutorials are more than 100 lines of code. So this is absolutely mind-boggling. The 2 frameworks / libraries I used to write actually less than 60 lines of code, it ended up being like 56 lines of code, was Node.js and Puppeteer. Very famous for web scraping, highly recommended by a lot of software engineers and even beginner programmers in the space. And if you're interested on learning how to use Puppeteer.js and Node.js, I actually have a tutorial on this channel that I posted talking about web automation with Chrome. So be sure to check that out. And this is a real code file. This is literally the code file that is the script for this website. You see 54 lines of code. Okay, now obviously I condensed the code, so I'm not showing you guys what the code is, right? If you really are interested, just email me. But yes, you can see only 54 lines of code. Very straightforward. 54 lines of code, $1,500. If you want to learn, check out the tutorial. It's going to help you a lot. And this is where we get into step 4, selling to the client, actually selling the product that you made. Now, one thing I didn't mention earlier that is very important is have the client pay a 30 to 50% deposit up front. The reason is you want to ensure that the client does not flake. You want to prove that the client trusts you and is dedicated to you, because what if they're asking you to do something, but they're also asking 3 other developers to do something? If one person finishes before you and you're like 80% done, he might say, or she might say, no, it's okay. I don't need to move forward with you anymore. So you just put in all that work for no payment, and that would suck for you a lot, and that would probably hurt your confidence as a developer. So it's better just to make sure that the client is dedicated to you by getting a deposit. And once you get that deposit in your bank account, it motivates you to actually deliver, right? Because not a lot of people like to work for free. This is the real text messages. He emailed me, or he sent me some messages, and I had asked him to send me 30%, 33% up front, which is about $500 since it's a $1,500 project. And he sent it, I got it. And then once the bot was completed from a coding standpoint, it wasn't tested on the actual website. It was just completed from a coding, the code was done. I asked him to send the rest, and it was $1,000, right? That was the remaining 70% or 66% if you want to say, and he sent that as well. And I just let him know that make sure not to share the bot with other people. What you can do is you can have the client sign a contract, like an NDA, so they can't just resell your script to someone else. That's what I usually do. But there was more. Something really special happened. This happens to a lot of people, a lot of programmers in this bot space. I told him that, hey man, you know, we tested the tool, and the tool worked. It literally worked on drop day, and the client was so happy that he was willing to give a bonus. And you will see this a lot. A lot of people will be willing to give you bonuses if your bot works the way they want it to, and it gives him happiness and like joy. So he sent me $250 as like a bonus with no added work. So in reality, this was really a $1,750 project that I made within 2 hours. So again, extremely happy with the results. And now step 5, for those who made to this part of the video, this is kind of a bonus step, is you want to upsell as much as you can. In the upsell, you have already gained the client's trust. So they are more than willing to give you more money for a project that, you know, they need completed because they trust your skills, they paid you already, and they know you deliver, and you just have that mutual trust. So this is how our conversation went. He had asked me, what else do you do? Usually you want to ask the client like, hey, do you need anything else? In this case, the client was so happy that he just asked me right away. So I told him I create software apps, websites, and he asked if I do like any web development, I guess. And I said yes. And you always want to give the client an incentive to work with you further. So I said I will give him $100 off whatever the next project is. And he said that he was glad that he found me, and then we will continue from there. We ended up actually agreeing on creating a website for him. So you can offer a couple additional services like website design, app development, more bots if that's, you know, your specialty, or as well as like AI minor services. You can choose what additional service you want. Every client might have a different need, but we landed on website design, which was pretty cool. And you basically end up following this one cycle when you are working with clients in the software space. Of course, bot development is included in that. You create a software, you know, the software works, the client is happy, you upsell the client, you create the software, client's happy, and you repeat the cycle. And this is how you can ultimately make an infinite money glitch depending on your client. Obviously, if your client has the capital, then they can, you know, work on virtually an unlimited number of projects with you, and you're going to be set for a good amount of time from just 1 or 2 clients. So by following this 5-step framework, I was able to make $1,500 within 2 hours plus a bonus, which, well, again, is highly possible, highly replicable. All you have to do is create your content, respond to the incoming emails, actually create the tool, right? Create the bot that is being asked for, sell it, and then upsell. And the upsell can be an unlimited amount of money.